Hello, everyone. This is Dave Johnson, and welcome to Moonride. I don't know about you, but I find this whole DeSantis business of him canceling classes for African American studies totally upsetting. It's really unacceptable. It's basically fascism, right? I mean, when we think of another government that did that, absolutely appalling. I'll also say that I am the descendant of slave owners. 5 generations ago, one of my ancestors did own slaves, and let me be the one to tell you, it was wrong, it was totally unacceptable, and insofar as I can, I'd like to apologize to everybody who's a minority for what he did. Now, I didn't just explode, my life isn't over, I'm not racked with terrible guilt so that I can't do my job today. Is it really so hard to ask that people say something is wrong? Because slavery was wrong. And even though he lived in a particular time, that doesn't mean it becomes right. He could have searched his conscience if he'd put his wallet aside. So, how DeSantis always has these press conferences and they're really fake. They're totally managed so that anybody who asks a reasonable question is interrupted or manipulated, or they just cut the film so that you only see one portion. Question is that really going to work? When he isn't able to control the conversation, when he has a legitimate news situation. And it's like I just see him getting more and more, stubborn and steely. He's like a kind of just he just looks like Mussolini. He doesn't have even a real ability to handle a fair debate, and it's divisive. Okay, I keep seeing the sword. It's divisive. And, Republicans have been on this train of division for a long time, and it worked for a while. That's what I see. It's just remember what he's doing is trying to divide us, right? What are the real effects of what DeSantis is doing? Well, pretty annoying for a high school student not to be able or to be told how to study Black studies is pretty awful. But it's still available for those students. They can go study those things on their own. I don't want to justify anything DeSantis is doing. I want to make the point is that it's a fairly pathetic. He's just doing that for the political hay that it makes. Again, it's not acceptable to me what he's doing, but how much is he really changing anything? It's not much. It's just sort of performance art that he's putting on. And that's exactly what it is. It's like, hey, look at the clown juggling, forget about these problems, look at the clown, and that's really what's going on. Is okay, now he's kind of pointing his sword at me. It's all about arguing with the left. There's no content here. And I actually see a wave coming towards Florida. And DeSantis, look, this is not the last hurricane. DeSantis is getting covered with water. Now, I'm hoping this is a political blue wave, but I get the feeling more it is like a legitimate wave. It's like, here's DeSantis, and he's like ankle deep now in the sand. He can't really get out. Don't forget, he can't back away from these policies. They are stated policies, so he can't hedge his bets. Once they're stated, they're out there and they'll be used against him. Okay, the sand's getting up to his ankles, and it's like, do you see the image of the goddess of beauty? I think it's Da Vinci emerging from the shell. That's the image that I see. And by the way, she's many colors. She's not white like Da Vinci. She's every color of all of you. And she's there. It's like just kind of organic divine representation, an earthly sort of figure who's there, and he's stuck in the sand as she floats towards him. It's like saying, change is constant, the earth is constant, DeSantis is temporary. And is also, remember, Mother Nature, bats last, okay? She will tell us, she will decide. She has power. He doesn't. He's just a meek man who really has no ethical spine. There's a night sky, and it's like there's a comet. Santis looks up, and he's surprised, and he doesn't know what to do. And I get the feeling something's gonna happen that's more organic and natural. And he will not know how to respond because he doesn't. It's like Trump when COVID came, he didn't know how to respond. He can't do anything but make media hay, so he can't create some kind of program. It's all about the media for him, and it's all about that for DeSantis. Okay, he's surrounded by some kind of tornado-like thing, and he gets small. Just it's again, it's like he's small compared to Mother Earth. He's small compared to the hurricane. He's just a person. Yeah, things will change. He's not looking great. He's looking very red-faced, and again, he's become quite small. And he's just shouting and shouting, listen to me, listen to me, listen to me. And it's like, Mother Nature's there, this beautiful figure is there saying, you know, I don't really care about you. You're not that important, and you won't last. I will last. And it's kind of this very interesting circles sort of surrounding him, just circles and circles. And they're kind of going out into the universe and getting wider. But as they get wider, he gets smaller. All right, and is Biden going to help him out again if there's another situation? And Biden's kind of shaking his head, no. This is going to be a good political issue for him. Imagine if Biden were debating DeSantis. He'd be like, yeah, remember that time how you came with your hat in your hand begging me to help you out? Remember that? Remember the last hurricane where you really needed my money? And I should say our money, but Biden had the power to say no. And next time around, he's kind of going, well, sure, yeah, I'll give you some help. What are you going to do for me? And Biden has all the power here. He's just, DeSantis is a small man in a small place. But he thinks he's a big man in a big place. Yeah, DeSantis thinks he's Luke Skywalker. And he's just so sadly mistaken. Yeah, DeSantis does not know how to use the Force. I'm literally getting like Star Wars images of him trying to like hit the ball with the blindfold, and Yoda's really disappointed here. He's just like, yeah, it just reminds me of Yoda saying, "There is no try, there's only do," and DeSantis doesn't really do anything. He just tries to stir up controversy. Okay, this is, I think, the last image of DeSantis, and he's just walking alone on a beach. It's like he's sort of a castaway, and his clothes are becoming more and more ragged. as he gets further and further away from civilization. It's like he's walking away, taking his little sword in his hand. It's not really, just kind of dragging the sword behind him. The divisiveness won't be successful. We've already seen the apogee. This is as divided as America could become under Trump. And Trump still didn't manage to take over. So why would DeSantis be able to use the same old stories, the same games? This is, I think, in a way, very good for America to see these people trying their old patterns, trying their own methods. They're not working very well, and there's no reason to believe they will work better in the future. It just appeals to a certain segment of people who are going to become smaller and smaller and smaller over time. It's like he's trying to get everybody to give up their cars and ride horses. That might have been somewhat effective in 1900 or something. You might have convinced a few people that cars are the devil, but how long would that last? It may take years for people to start accepting cars. There might be changes to the demographics and the environment, business, before this is rejected. But I don't see him succeeding. So what are his chances of becoming president? Yeah, he looks very glum. I think that's what the sort of castaway is that he will not succeed at the presidency. Be prepared. I think DeSantis is just there to get news and infuriate us. He isn't there to win. Anything else we can see? Just don't forget that beautiful image of a natural woman of many colors. That natural woman of many colors, she's going to last. She's going to guide us. She's going to be the one who fulfills our long-term prayers. She's always there. She's always truthful. You don't need to argue about the existence of Mother Earth. It just is, whether you believe she exists or not. It makes no difference to her. Ultimately, we will all go back to the earth. We will all go back to nature. We will all go back to this beautiful woman who represents all of us. Thanks so much for watching.